it's awesome because there were three major experiences about encouragement and not stopping. The one was when Philip came by and he helped me out. And his encouragement, him leading by example, gave me the courage and the confidence to keep going. The other moment was the gentleman that started walking, and the other guy was yelling at him, "No, don't stop, keep going." And there was another moment at the 5K mark to the 10K mark. There was a woman that ran up next to me, and based on the other runners I'd seen, I imagined she was either the second or third place woman. And with her being that high in rank, I knew that she was going to run a sub 60. And I made sure that I stayed with her. And when it gets tough in life, just don't quit, because I believe eventually someone will come around and they will help you. They'll encourage you, and they'll inspire you to keep going. But they won't come until you possibly can't do it on your own. Because we think we can't do it on our own, but they come right when we need them to. That woman was there right when I needed her. Philip was there at the most crucial point in the race.
So when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Absolutely. I knew my pace was slowing down, but I was giving it everything I had, and he came right at that moment. And obviously, I didn't plan that at all, That was obviously God's plan, but not mine at all. But it was the fact that I kept on, and I wasn't going to quit. And that's when he came in to help me out.
Well, let's stop right there, Ryan. You mentioned something that I think is very important, that absolutely gave you the strength to accomplish this goal, this dream. You just used the word God.
Mm-hmm.
How did God play a role in that performance for you, in your personal experience?
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
You kept on repeating that over and over in your mind.
The entire race.
Say it again.
The entire race, I kept repeating Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Do you believe it?
Absolutely.
Do you know it?
That's the only reason that I completed the race and the training. Everything that I have, all the power that I have comes from him. I'm just a tool.
So when you added him in your training program, or her, or whatever the gender is, you absolutely knew that you could accomplish that goal.
Right.
Imagine the support system you had, Ryan. They showed up when you needed the most help.
Right.
Now, what happens, what I like about this discussion, Ryan, you mentioned when we experience some hardships, some tough times, some difficult challenges, the right people show up, or the right radio show like this we sort of tune into. Do you believe that?
Right. Because we're at that moment in our life when we're open and ready for it. And we've been running the race of life, and there's that wingman, so to speak. There's that support group, and they're coming to our rescue. It's that moment in our life where we really need it, and then it's there.
We're going to take a break, and the last 5 minutes of the show, Ryan, we're going to take the listeners right to that finish line.
Okay.
So right now you're listening to Ryan Celestain, and we're talking about the journey, his goal, his run. And I want to let you know that don't quit, because if you're facing challenging times, if it feels like there's no hope, support is on its way. You're listening to Greg Norman. This show is called Dare to Dream, and we'll be right back. Now let's talk about, we don't have much time left, Ryan, and I want to take the listeners to the finish line. When you had the finish line in sight, where did your mind take you? Did you know that you reached the sub-60 mark?
The last time that I looked at my watch was at the 14K mark, and I had 1K left, and I had to run it in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. And I didn't look at my watch until I crossed the finish line. And I hear the way they have the finish line, it's probably maybe 200-300 meters where you can see where they start taking pictures. So I run past that part, and, you know, I'm all alone at this point. It hurts so bad. And I was giving it everything I had, and I go around that first corner and see photographers. I run through the intersection. It starts to wrap around to the right, and everybody's cheering. And I'm going harder. I'm pushing harder. And then I hear the announcer say, Ryan Celestain. And I cross the finish line. And I stop my watch. And as soon as I cross, I throw my hands up in victory. I was so happy. And I did it. You know, I did it. It was such an amazing feeling, crossing the finish line. Almost surreal. Like, wow, did this really happen? My actual time was 59 minutes and 50 seconds. And I ran a sub-60, 15K.
Well, I want to congratulate you, Ryan, for expressing that inspiring story.
Thank you.
But I want to briefly, before we talk about your next challenge, your new radio show, and how are you going to achieve it, you have a whole new challenge in front of you, Ryan.
Right.
You have a challenge as far as planning your programming, finding those sponsors. This is a whole new world.
Right.
You mentioned earlier during your training program, but you mentioned that you announced it. You told people what you were going to do. You told your friends that you were going to achieve that sub-60.
Right.
What are you going to tell the listeners now about your radio show? Is that a secret, or are you going to confirm that you're going to achieve this new goal, this new race, even if it gets tough?
Absolutely. This is, the radio show is not wishful thinking.
That's a great point.
It's a declaration that I am going to find the sponsors. I am going to find the supporters and the people who see and want to be a part of the vision of impacting other people's lives and offering hope and helping other people excel.
And I know you'll achieve it, Ryan. I have zero doubt.
Thank you.